All right. As far as injuries go, the only one that won't practice today is Mike Remmers. Getting better, but not ready to go quite yet. Listen, look forward to the challenge of playing the Packers. Right now, they're as hot as anybody in the National Football League. And so we've got to have a good week of practice, starting it off today, and make sure that we get ourselves ready. Again, glad that we're playing here at home again. Our fans were unbelievable on Monday night. We'd anticipate the same thing. I mean, they're a hard place to play here. So anyways, with that, time's yours.
Melvin Ingram, what tells you he can make a difference at this point?
Yeah, so we felt like it was an addition of another good football player, very smart kid. We've competed against him, I guess, a number of times, and you guys you've seen him play, and he's getting older, and he moved around just here a bit, but we had brought him up in the off season, and and felt like he'd be a nice addition to the room, and so we were able to get him this time and made the move. But gives you another guy that can rush the passer, but also play the run. So
why didn't it work out with him or during the offseason?
He just ended up going somewhere else. So yeah, I mean that's how this works sometimes. Yeah.
Reasonable to think he could play on Sunday?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We're not going to put him in a bad situation. So he just got here, and he was able to sit in on the meetings. But he just got here late last night and kind of got cranking this morning. So we'll see how he picks things up and where he feels comfortable with. With these veteran guys, they'll let you know, and if you keep open communication with them. So
is that a significantly easier ask for him than, let's say, it would have been for a Josh Gordon of a wide receiver?
Yeah, different situation because Josh hadn't played for a little bit. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
But I'm just talking about learning what you guys are doing.
Yeah, I mean, Spags does a few things. So again, you don't want to put the guys in a bad position where they either hurt the team or themselves. And we'll just see. I mean, you kind of play it by ear and see how it goes. Yeah.
Coach, obviously you had up until maybe 10 a.m. to find out about Aaron Rodgers, that you were preparing for him. How do you prepare for it now, a quarterback that you may not have seen on film at all?
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's nothing that's in granted, I don't think. I mean, that I've seen. And so we get ready for Aaron Rodgers, and then whoever they put in, you've got to be ready for. You just watched this last weekend. I mean, two quarterbacks come in that hadn't had an opportunity to play much, if at all, in one game. So, our guys are aware of that. It's you get yourself ready to play. This league, I mean, they're small margins, man. So it's a true team sport. You get yourself ready to go.
Specific to Melvin Ingram, just to follow up on Adam's question here, what kind of flexibility does he give you with Chris Jones, with Ingram's ability to also play outside?
Yeah, no, it's a plus. I mean, if Chris is going to do whatever he needs to do for us to be successful, I mean, that's how he rolls. So if he has to jump back inside, he can jump back inside. He knows how to do the outside part too. So we'll just see though. Right now, it's just we're formulating, I guess, just to see how Melvin handles picking everything up right now. See where he's at. We haven't even seen him on the football field other than a walkthrough. So.
Andy, what did you tell Larry before the decision was made to trade him to the Jets?
Yeah. So Brett talked to him, and they had a good conversation, agent and with Larry, and then I had a chance to talk to him just before it went down. So, I'll keep that between us. But I think it's great that he has an opportunity to play right now. And whether he does it for a year or 10 more years, he has an opportunity to play. And, that couldn't be promised right here at this time. So if he decides to become, go be a doctor after this year, he's going to have an opportunity to play. And he can take that with him. So I think it's great. We appreciated having him here. Absolutely.
Just related to him too, his career arc was a little different, and he said a number of times how you embraced the idea of him from your childhood experience, but
Yeah.
how much did it mean to you to see him get to flourish in both ways and do what he did last year?
Yeah, oh, I think it's awesome. I mean, it just doesn't happen very often in this league. It has happened, but not very often. And you know, for him to have the opportunity to do his studies in the off season, I thought was important for him. You knew he was going to continue to work out and be diligent with that. But you know, you can name on maybe a couple hands, maybe two hands, how many guys that played in this league and been doctors, become doctors afterwards. So unique person.
And do I have that right? If I remember this right, your childhood experience with your mom,
Yeah, went to the same
you got
medical school.
introduced to,
Yeah,
and that planted a little thought with you that sure you could do this.
yeah. No, I knew he could. Yeah, if he wanted, if he wanted to do it, he could do it. And so, smart kid. I mean, he was focused that way right from the get go. He let us know during the draft. So, that was important.
We'll have an opportunity to talk to Derrick Gore. Fair to say that you've seen enough that he could be a regular part of the rotation while Clyde is still out.
Yeah, no, we feel comfortable with that. We felt that way kind of coming out of training camp and just getting him caught back up and going off the scout team. But the last couple of weeks, he's done a nice job. So we felt good about putting him in.
I was just curious, just what did you see in his work ethic throughout the year that kind of led to that opportunity?
Yeah, well, he's a quiet kid, but he's a hard worker. And so that was, he's diligent about going. He knew that he had to catch up in the pass game, particular protections, and so he worked his tail off on that. And he got where we had confidence that he could go in and do run or pass and go with it.
Seems like he brought a different spark to the running game. He's more physical. What you see
Yeah, he's different, but I don't know. Daryl's pretty good with that too. He'll bring it a little bit. So I think both of them kind of complement each other, and he's got good vision. He's got quick feet, can kind of dart in and out, and nice low center of gravity. I mean, those are his strengths. Good core strength.
What do you feel like maybe he brings that maybe you don't have with any of your other guys?
Yeah, it's just a different pitch. So they're all a little unique in what they do, and I mean, Darryl brings that big physical presence that can run over people. And this kid, he's got the quick feet, and if he needs to dash through you, he can do that. So just a little different pitch that you can throw at the defense.
Even if you are preparing for the possibility of Aaron Rodgers still playing, obviously I assume you're preparing for the possibility it's going to be Jordan Love. You encountered this situation before, but how different is preparation with a guy that doesn't, he's thrown 7 passes in the NFL?
Yeah.
And you don't have a lot of film on him.
Yeah, well, you know that they're not going to completely change the whole offense. I mean, that's not going to happen. They're still going to run the offense. They did that with him in the preseason, and it looked like he did a nice job with it. So if that's the case, you're prepping for the offense, and then you take those unique qualities that each one has, and you work on that. But that's how you go about it.
And then secondly, I wanted to ask you about the run the running game that you had on Monday night. It seemed like there were more downhill efforts to run. Is that because of, I guess, everything that you do is because of what you're seeing from defense?
Sure.
Is that particularly because of what you've been seeing consistently from
Yeah,
defenses this year?
Well, yeah, this was a little different, this one. So, but yeah, that we felt like we'd have a better chance doing that than the lateral stuff where, against say the Eagles, we ran that outside zone a little bit more. But you just have to kind of know which group you're playing against and how you can mix that. Yeah.
Couple more guys.
Coach, you said Sunday night that Josh Gordon was just this close, I guess, with the with being more overly involved in the offense. Does he know the route tree? Because I know you see that your offense is complex. So
Yeah, no, he's good with it.
Situation where Patrick can just tell him what route to run.
Yeah, no, he's good with that. He's good with the route tree. It's just, things he was covered, so didn't go his way.
Coach, obviously you don't need a quarterback, but during 2020, during the pre-draft process, did you get a chance to look at Jordan Love, and what were your impressions of him?
Yeah, I did. I mean, I try to look at all those guys. I mean, the best I can. And I had a chance to look at him, and he's a good player. So, had a great college career, and he sounds like he's in a good position there. But he's got a pretty good player in front of him.
Last one by.
Andy, you kind of just went through this with Billy, but obviously Green Bay is a big part of your career. How much do you stay conscious of that? I know it will change once the game starts, but is it something you're conscious of during the week?
Well, I mean, I know a lot of people up there, and but again, I mean, as a professional, you get ready for the game. They're doing the same thing. And I've been gone for quite a while, so. But I had fond memories being there. 7 years, it was a good time there. So we won a lot of football games.
All right, thank you.
All right, guys, fire away.
How kind of disappointing is it for you to not get a chance another year, you and Aaron Rodgers not being able to face off?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely disappointing. I mean, when you get to see an all-time great like him play, and I've kind of watched his game for a long time, feeling that I play a similar style, you always want to compete against the best. But hopefully he's healthy. It's not too bad. I'm sure he'll come back from it stronger than he was before.
Do you have any thoughts on Jordan Love and backup? I know there hasn't been much film on him, but do you have any thoughts of his backup?
Yeah, I mean, he's super talented. I got to watch some games he played in college, obviously, and he was slinging it around the field, making a lot of plays happen. And then what he's done in the preseason, I mean, had a great preseason, played really well. So, I mean, I'm sure he'll be ready. They have a great offense, and he'll be able to step in and try to do what he can to try to have success.
You obviously have a pretty tight relationship with Aaron. What was your reaction when you heard about it? Have you reached out to him yet?
I haven't got to yet. I kind of heard about it as I was going on to the walkthrough on the field. So, I mean, obviously it's disappointing. I mean, I'm just hoping that he's healthy and that he can get through it. I mean, COVID's a scary deal, man, and it can kind of get anybody. So I'm just kind of praying for him that he can get back into who he is.
Patrick, how do you look at his career in terms of your own? I mean, he's been one of the best for a long time now. Still just won Super Bowl. I mean, is that an illustration to you of how difficult it can be for one person to sort of influence?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's hard. It's not about one guy in this sport. I mean, it's about a team. I think Tom kind of fools everybody because he's won so many Super Bowls, but it's a hard deal to win Super Bowls in this league. I mean, it's the best of the best every single year. Everybody's getting better. Everybody's bringing in new guys that have that hunger to try to go get it. And Aaron's, I mean, he is the best of the best, and he's played on a lot of great football teams, but you got to have stuff go your way, and I understand that. And I mean, this season's telling that you're not just going to be every single year you're coming in and winning every game. You have to battle through adversity to try to be on top.
Did you see any difference in the defensive scheme from the Giants after that drive where you guys ran, especially when you had a lot of downhill runs?
Not necessarily. I mean, they were trying to change it up a little bit, but they had a pretty similar game plan the whole way through. I mean, it kind of came down to us turn the ball over, me not hitting some guys that were open, and so a few penalties here and there. I mean, we keep being able to run the ball. I think that'll help the offense, obviously. But at the same time, we have to execute. We have to find ways to drive the length of the field and execute in the red zone.
When you say help the offense, do you mean just because it's successful, or because you might actually draw some different looks from the defense?
Yeah, I mean, when the defenses are playing a lot of shell coverages like they are, you have to run the ball. I think we know that. That drive was kind of a way of doing it. You run the ball that many times, you get down there and score a touchdown. So just continue to do that, continue to evolve that more and more on the offense. And then whenever we have chances to make some big plays, we'll try to make those as well.
One more on that. But it seemed like you picked up the football after Derrick scored that. Did you give that?
Oh, yeah, I gave it back to him. The first touchdown for him. I mean, when you have guys that work that hard and they're able to get in that end zone for the first time, I mean, you're happy for them because they put in the work every single day. I mean, they don't get seen because they're not there on those Sundays, but I mean, those guys are working, if not harder than all of us, because they're on the practice squad, and then they're also doing scout team, and they're also doing reps with the first team. So guys like that, you're happy when they get in the end zone.
You learn anything about him in his first real playing time?
Yeah, I think you learn that he's a playmaker, man. He's ready to go out there and step up when his number's called. So it's great to have those type of guys on the team that are going to put in that work every single day, knowing that they might not get the opportunity to play, so that when they do get that opportunity, they're ready to go.
Do you feel like after the interception to start the game that you had to change anything in terms of decision making, and how well do you think you did in terms of that, knowing that the game started in such a disappointing way?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I changed. I try to stay away from that. I try to stay with the game plan, stay rolling. Obviously, wish we'd executed a little bit better myself as the game went on. We had a few drives that stalled out. But that first drive was a great drive. And then I had Josh in the end zone. I just threw it a little too hard. If I just kind of put enough pace on that thing, we have a touchdown there. Then it hits the guy behind him and shoots up in the air. I mean, stuff like that. It seems like it's happened a lot this year, but it happens. So you kind of just move on and go to the next play.
You talk about Josh. I mean, how close is he to just really knowing the offense? Again, I'd ask Andy, if he knows the route tree, because if the offense is that complex, if you know he's supposed to line up, could you tell him, hey, run this route so that he can be open? Because I know he hasn't been targeted much, but I know a lot of fans are wondering, why did the Chiefs sign Josh Gordon if they're not really going to use him?
Yeah, I mean, we're using him more and more. It's just the ball hasn't gone his way. I'm big on just kind of trying to get it to the guy that I feel is open. Obviously, I got to be better at making some decisions because there's plays where he's open that I haven't hit him. But I mean, he knows it. I mean, he's a smart guy. He picked up the offense quickly. That's why he's gotten out in the field more and more. And I'm sure as the season goes on, we'll get the ball to him because he's a playmaker, and we want to have that as the season. And we get to the end of the season and hopefully the playoffs.
There's a guy who's played against Melvin Ingram before. What are you guys getting now that he's here?
Yeah, first off, I'm glad he's on my team. I mean, have him on our team. I know we play the Steelers later in the year, so it's glad to have him on our side of the football. But he's a guy that he's smart. He's a vet. He's very crafty on the way he does things. He has all the moves, but he's also really good against the pass, but really good against the run as well. And so whenever you're able to add those type of guys to your team at this point in the season that can come in and make an impact, it's always exciting to see how they fit in with our group.
You've noted footwork, pocket presence, things you're working on as the season goes on. What did you notice when it comes to progress in the film tape against the Giants?
I feel like I did a better job of kind of getting into the pocket and being in the pocket, but I feel like my base still wasn't the way I wanted it to be. There was kind of times I was high on my toes, which is never good at the quarterback position. So that's stuff that I'll kind of try to work on this week and just be better mechanically, because then whenever I'm better mechanically and making those throws, the other stuff comes with it.
You came up a little limpy at a moment. Are you completely good from that offseason surgery? Do you feel 100% healthy and everything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I feel fine. I mean, I was more limpy. I kind of landed awkwardly out of bounds when I was running there. So it was just trying to make sure it was all good. But I mean, I feel fine. I'm ready to go. And I mean, that's what you do in football is you go out there and play.
Patrick, I didn't get to ask you this last week, but I want to ask you about the Kansas City Current new name. Mm-hmm. I know you wore the shirt on Monday night. What are your thoughts on the new Riverfront Stadium and the team name?
Yeah, I mean, I had to keep the secret. Brad was asking me about it all week, but no, I had to keep the secret of the name. I mean, it's a great name. I think it goes well with the city, with that Riverfront stadium that they're building and the facility that they're building out there. I mean, they've done a great job of taking care of that organization and those girls. And if you saw the way that season trended, I mean, they were ended on a very positive direction. So I'm excited for them. I think Brittany and the Longs have done a great job of kind of helping evolve that organization, and hopefully it'll be here for a long time.
Did they ask you your input on the name?
No, they did not. I gave my input and it was shot down. So I think they came up with a better name than I thought.
Before, but why is it so important for you and Brittany to be kind of so all in, invested on doing things like this for Kansas City? Yeah, I mean, we love this community. I mean, we love the people in this community, how much they support us through the thick and thin. I mean, they really have embraced me, and I've become part of this family. And so Brittany's done a great job with that team of getting a women's soccer team here, and the support that the community has shown them already is tremendous. So, I mean, it truly is an awesome community that a lot of great people, and I'm excited I can keep building here as long as possible.
Patrick, you said they shot down your suggestion, so the natural follow-up is, what was the name you suggested?
Yeah, I was trying to work with something like the Fountains, so like a Fountain City or something like that, but Current just sounds way better. So I definitely lost. Yeah, exactly.
Couple more guys. Go Nathan and Bye.
Patrick, I've asked this before, but I'm going to do it a little differently. Do you want defensive coordinators to blitz you a little bit more? You're the least blitzed quarterback in the league. Just how much has that changed your, sort of preparation before the week when teams are doing it less and less?
I think I just kind of try to take what's there. I mean, I promise I prepare for the blitz just as much every single week. I want to make sure that we kind of keep that where the defenses don't want to blitz us because we're so good against the blitz. But then at the end of the day, I have to get better when they're not blitzing. I have to get better when they're dropping people in coverage, taking the check down, throwing the flats, which I started doing kind of later in the game this last game. And I did it early and late, which is the times we had success. So keep doing being better at that. But don't lose me. I mean, whenever the shots are there, take them. I could have hit that shot to Tyreek if I put it across the middle of the field a little bit more. So whenever those opportunities come, I have to be ready to strike. And then when they're not there, just keep being smart, taking it and moving the ball down the field.
Patrick, I don't know if you got to say goodbye to Larry, but I wonder if you did, if you could share anything you might have conveyed to him. And also just the feeling of what he did for this team and the arc of his career as a doctor and taking last year for the reason he did. All those thoughts, I wonder what you think about it.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get to talk to him in person because it happened on a off day, and so I didn't get to see him. But I mean, I texted him. I mean, he's a great dude. I think that's the first thing. I mean, he's such a great person. He really truly loved this city, this team, this organization, and he gave back so much to it. And the thing he did last year with going to be a doctor back in Canada was special. I mean, not a lot of people have that heart to be able to give up something that they truly love and football for a year to go back, especially after winning the Super Bowl with this team. So, I mean, it just shows the type of person that he is. And I give so much. I told him good luck to moving on to the Jets and to the rest of his career. If that's football, doctor, whatever it is, he'll be great at it.
Okay, thanks, Patrick.
Thank you.
Thanks, Patrick.
All right, guys, go ahead and fire away.
Josh, go ahead.
Tyrann, the Packers did announce that Jordan Love's going to be starting. How much does that change with how you guys prepare for this?
Probably not too much. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers is a special player. Probably one of the most talented quarterbacks in this league. But I think as far as preparation, it's all about our mindset, our attitude. Trying to get as much information as we can. Pretty sure those guys' offense won't change too much. So it's all about formational recognition and just understanding what's going on from our end.
What is the process of getting as much information as you can on a guy that hasn't played much in the NFL?
Well, yeah, I just asked my coach that about an hour ago, and so you just kind of dig through all the tape, preseason games, try to get a feel for what he likes to do, whether that be rhythm throws or trying to find, his shots deep. I do know he has a big arm. He can move around the pocket. So, it'll be a good challenge for us.
Do you have to sometimes find yourself going back to his college tape?
Yeah, I think sometimes you do that, but I think he has a couple snaps, in the NFL, and so we'll look at those probably more than we look back into his college, days.
You traded for Melvin Ingram yesterday. What was your reaction to Ingram coming here to Kansas City?
I mean, I was excited, man. I've watched him, from afar. We both SEC guys, and so I've always, liked the way he played the game. I think his talent speaks for itself. I'm more excited about, his leadership and what he's going to provide, on that end. So, I think our guys up front got another guy that they could, use and rely on, and hopefully, he could help complement, the other guys that we have here already. But I was excited. I look at him as, one of those guys that, he's a doggy, so just looking forward to seeing him play fast.
How much time do you all expect to look at film on Jordan? Because obviously last year when you faced off against the Chargers in the first game against them, you didn't know you were facing Justin Herbert until 10 seconds before kickoff. Obviously you get 5 days of that. How much preparation are you all really going to have, looking at tape on Jordan and trying to create a scheme?
Yeah, I mean, it was a short week for us, already. So I'll probably say, today, tomorrow, Friday, we'll get a good chunk of information, on Jordan. And, like I said, all the things that he could do well, some of the things that he doesn't handle well, we'll try to expose those things. But, like I mentioned earlier, I think for the most part, it's all about our preparation, our attitude, and really what we able to do from a technique standpoint, play in and play out.
One good thing that you all did, though, the previous 2 games, you all played great second half. This last game, you played pretty much 4 straight quarters. How important is it going to be to continue to build on that in this game against Green Bay?
I mean, it's huge. This is a big time opponent. No beating around the bush. I don't think anybody's, projecting us to win this football game. I think we understand that. It's going to be a tall task for us, but I think we'll be ready for the challenge.
How much of the quarterback change was even more of an emphasis on guys like Aaron Jones and Devontae Adams, and obviously trying to keep those guys in check, knowing that that's probably who Jordan's going to rely on the most?
Yeah, I probably, it doesn't. Devontae Adams is one of those receivers that it doesn't matter who he has throwing the ball to him. He's a tough cover. The more I watch, Aaron Jones, I like the way he runs the football. He reminds me a lot of Delvin Cook. Got a lot of straight line speed, got a lot of power too, for his size, really run through a lot of arm tackles. So that'll be a tough task for us. And yeah, I mean, I could see them, leaning more, on 33. Obviously 17 speaks for himself, but even a backup running back, AJ Dillon, he's a tough duty as well. So I could see them, using those guys a bit more.
Tyrann, opponents have given you guys some problems with screen passes in recent weeks. Something you can put your finger on as to why you guys have had a little bit of difficulty defending those?
Yeah, I think sometimes, man, you get in these 3rd and long situations, and we all excited to, get to the quarterback and get a sack. But I think some play calls, some down and distances, just require you to just play fundamental football. I think a lot of that just comes from formation recognition. I think most of these teams run the same plays. Most of the time is out of the same formations. So just being alert, on that, when you break the huddle.
Tyrann, what's been most impressive to you in regards to what Nick Bolton and Willie Gay have been able to bring to the lineup these past couple of weeks?
I mean, they've just been coming along, man. It's a lot that's on their plate, as far as this system, this scheme, and just trying to communicate, line people up. But those guys are still playing fast, after they communicate and get everything set. So I probably say that's the biggest positive. That's the biggest, sign of encouragement, especially as a, deep defender. When you got guys in front of you that, got a little speed, can really make plays, all over the field. So it's been good to see them continue to, progress.
You've been around for a while. How difficult is that communication stuff for a rookie to excel like Nick has been able to do?
I mean, it's extremely difficult. You don't see too many rookie, middle linebackers, tasked with that duty. So to see Coach Spags, put his trust in him, obviously the kid is a good football player. He has a bright mind too. I think that helps, slow it down a little bit. But he's been a blessing for us, man, especially with Hitch being out, him being able to step in and kind of keep it rolling for us.
Tyrann, you guys have been fully healthy in the secondary these last few weeks. I'm just wondering how much has that put an impact on you to sort of do a lot of different roles in the secondary, and how much do you think that'll help you get, maybe, as you alluded to on Twitter, closer to getting the ball, more opportunities for maybe making plays?
Yeah, I think we're coming along. Obviously, there's still a lot of things that we could clean up, as far as technique, and I thought we did a better job this past week of really just eliminating explosive plays. I think they maybe had 2 or 3, and that's a good sign. So for me, it's not always about me making the big plays or the plays that I'm used to making. I get more encouragement just seeing us continue to push forward, because I know, once I'm able to make a play, when it rains, it pours. So I just look forward to waiting for my moment. But as long as my group continues to show signs of improvement, that's all I really need to kind of keep me, happy.
How do you split the difference there between, trying to cover some of the stuff at the back end and also wanting to go find the ball and make a play? Like, how do you split that for yourself?
Well, I think, we're 4-4, so I'm not in a position to kind of, drop my responsibility to go make a play. I think it's all about just trying to be sound, in your technique. And like Coach Spag said, man, as hard as it is try your best to let the game come to you. Because when you go out of your way, you usually, leave somebody else hanging. So I've just been trying to do my job and keeping everybody else on top of theirs.
Couple more guys. Go Stephen and Vi.
You talked a little bit about Melvin Ingram. I know Andy Reid said he's been in on meetings, and you talked about his leadership. How long do you feel like it'll take him to be, put out there on this defense? It took you guys a little while to pick up the back scheme, but how long do you think it'll take him?
I mean, he's a vet in this league. He's probably heard some of this stuff before. It's just probably different, terminology. I expect him to pick it up, hopefully by next week. But like I said, man, anytime you can add an extra guy that loves to play football, whether it's run or pass, I think it'll help us out big time. So, obviously we don't want to rush him, but I think the sooner the better.
Tyrann, it seemed like it was important to you to speak the other day to the social media stuff, and maybe even good for you to do it. Is that how it was? You wanted to, I don't know, just express yourself that way, and has it been good for you to have gotten that stated?
Yeah, listen, I've got a bunch of great feedback, a bunch of positive feedback from that. I think a lot of times things could, be confusing or misunderstood. I think it's important to kind of address it, because this social media thing, it could go either way, and people could take it, any way they would like to take it. So, it's just kind of put my face in front of the camera. Obviously, being conscious of the words I used and, the people that I affected. And, obviously that wasn't my intention, but just happy to move on from it for real.
Did it make you reset a little bit how you're doing it too? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. I think anytime you have, a reality check or a gut check or, just simply being aware of, how other people feel, I think it always kind of, helps you take a step back and, kind of see what it is that you did wrong or where you went wrong.
What's the biggest lesson you learned from it besides maybe not pressing sometimes?
I'm sorry?
What was the biggest lesson you might have learned from that, except, without maybe not pressing sin?
Well, like I said, man, you just you never know who you never know who's listening. You never know who you're, going to affect in a negative way. And I think that's important to keep in perspective, when you're going back and forth with somebody, or you're dealing with frustration or, confusion, misunderstanding. I think that's the most important thing.
Thanks, Harvey. All right, guys, go ahead and fire away.
Dave, what did you do with your first touchdown football that Patrick gave you?
It's in my locker right now. But I kind of dropped it off, and Patrick handed it to me on the sideline, and I was thankful for that.
You take it home yet?
No, not yet.
Yeah, I remember during training camp, I think you were the only actual running back that was there for those first couple of days. I think Anthony Gordon might have worked in some, like take some running back rep. Obviously, like you've been getting a ton of work early on, and then obviously have everyone else who's been around a little longer getting more work. What's this whole process been like for you from training camp, being here, training camp to heading off on Monday?
It's been a long time coming, honestly. But just taking it each day, one day at a time, taking advantage of the reps that I get, whether it's 1 or 7, So that's about it.
What type of strides have you made in pass protection that maybe allowed you to get into the lineup?
It's a lot, honestly, just working on my technique. Coach Greg Lewis and Coach Bieniemy just helped me out, understanding pre-snap determinations, like what I can work on and stuff like that before the ball's even snapped.
Derrick, can you describe the feeling of scoring that touchdown after this time? What it meant to you?
It meant a lot, honestly. I really can't put it into words. Just feel the emotions, just knowing my background, where I came from, how long it took for me to get to this point. But very thankful for the opportunity that I got.
Do you have any additional family and friends in town because of the opportunity that you knew you might get here?
It's my mom and my grandparents.
What did it mean to kind of embrace them and talk to them after the game?
They were real excited. I think my mom kind of dropped a few tears, just knowing how long it took for me to get here. But at the end of the day, they were happy.
Derrick, what told you to stick with football? That if you stuck with it, there were good things. You were going to have a game like you had Monday night. What told you to stick with it?
Just my upbringing. My aunt and my uncle just told me, like, whenever I start something, I never finish, never quit. Always finish what you start, honestly. But it's been tough, but sticking through, just believing in God and having a strong support system with me definitely helped me out.
Were there any nerves at all? And if so, was there a point where you felt like this was just football, I can do this?
Not really. Getting a lot of reps during the preseason kind of helped me out, and just playing fast in practice, just kind of my natural ability kind of take over in the game. But, obviously you do get kind of nervous before you get out there, but end of the day, it's just football.
Did the coaching staff tell you, Derrick, that you were going to get more opportunities performing in this game, or did it sort of happen in the flow of the game?
They kind of told me I was going to get thrown in there, but I didn't expect for me to play that much. It kind of just caught a rhythm, and it just left me out there.
What's it feel like to be in that, like, 5 straight carries down there, getting all the way to the touchdown? I mean, are you looking over the sideline wondering if you're about to head back over there, just keep getting fed over and over again?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I knew I was going to get a couple carries, but once I kind of looked to the sideline and see they were leaving me out there, I was like, man, it's time to roll.
When did you realize, like, all right, I'm here, I'm in the league?
I think the first time I actually got cut from the Chargers, I kind of knew what the business was like. That's when I kind of hit reality. Like, everybody doesn't get a chance to really do this, so you got to take advantage of every opportunity that you get.
It seems like you bring a more physical, run game to this offense. Do you feel that way at all?
I feel like I do it all, honestly. Catch the ball, block, play physical when I need to. Lower my pads, play at a low pad level. But I'm definitely trying to bring that blue collar mentality to the team.
It seemed like a lot of the runs that you had were more the downhill variety as opposed to the RPO. Just as a running back, I guess, personal preference, do you feel like you can gain a better rhythm, better momentum towards the line of scrimmage and those kind of plays?
For sure, you definitely want to play north and south. You're not really want to dance too much. So the game is played downhill for running back. So that's what I try to do.
Coach EB being a former running back in this league, just what have you been able to take away from him on this journey to kind of get in this opportunity?
Honestly, when I got released from the final cut, he told me that eventually I'm gonna help this team out to win some football games. I didn't know I was gonna come, but kind of sad that how it happened with Clyde and stuff like that. But it's part of the game. It's football, and those guys in the room with their playing experience, playing in different games, stuff like big games, they kind of took me up under their wing and helped me out. So I just try to take it from there.
Derrick, you said that when you scored the touchdown, you kind of ended up reflecting on the hard times too. Was it the cuts that you thought of? Was there anything else that was a sort of a crossroads for you on getting here that you thought back to?
Just everything. Honestly, I came out of high school with 0 offers. Getting cut, working out with my father, going back to his funeral home, working with him. Just losing close friends and everything, like who believed in me to get to where I'm at right now. So it's just a lot.
All that kind of came to you in the moment a little bit, that kind of feeling of it all flashed together?
Not at the moment. Probably after the game, because I knew we still had to play a lot of football. It was still the first half. So
With when we talked to Andy earlier, he mentioned your vision, and one of the most memorable plays you've had with the Chiefs was obviously that long screen touchdown pass in the preseason. Just why do you feel like your vision allows you to have success when given the ball and the opportunity? And can you sort of explain what it's like to trust your eyes as a running back?
That's the main thing you want to play with is your eyes when you're playing running back. But I think certain things at running back you really just can't teach. You just got to be born with it. So I just think it's just one of my God-given abilities to be able to see certain things out there.
Okay, thanks, Derrick. Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot,
Thanks,
Derrick.
Derrick.